Hi, class. We are going to start reading our Unit 4 reading, which is called How to Conquer Your Primitive Brain by Adam Pior. So I want to spend some time talking about this reading because it is the most challenging of the readings we've read so far this semester. Unit 4 is all about the critical evaluation. In order for you to write anything of significance, anything interesting about the author's use of language, the use of evidence, and also the author's credibility, you need to be very familiar with the reading. So let's spend some time on the reading. You can either click here in the announcement to get to the reading, or you can go to Content, click on Course Readings from English 101, and then it's the bottom one, the last one, since it's our final reading for the semester. And then there's the text in Google. You will want to make your own copy by going to File, Make a Copy, and then you can annotate it. You could also print it, or if you want to see me during student hours, I am happy to print it for you. I like to have a printed copy myself, so I would happily print that for you. I already have some copies printed in my office. Just come see me at your convenience during my student hours. So let's look at some of what I want us to do in preparation for reading this. So we are going to slow down our reading of it, spend some time, and I will be sharing this to our course in D2L. But let me just talk about a few of these slides so you know what it is I want you to focus on in this reading guide. So first and foremost, I want you to activate your prior knowledge. If we met face-to-face, which unfortunately we don't, but if we did, we would have a conversation right now about habits and New Year's resolutions and just talk about how it's difficult to form new positive resolutions, and it's also can be difficult to break some bad habits. So why is that? What could we do to improve our chances of getting a new good habit to stick and improve our chances of giving up an old bad habit? So we would spend some time talking about that. In lieu of meeting, since we are an asynchronous section, if you could complete the survey, that would be great. You are not being graded on it, by the way, but this is just a quick, easy way for you to activate your prior knowledge. Next, I want you to spend some time in the Google Doc. Like I said, you're going to make your own copy. And then I wanted to show you a couple of tools that will help you as you're reading this. In Google, you can go here to this tool ribbon and click on Tools, and then click on Translate Document. If English is not your first language, it's not a bad idea to try reading the article first in your native language, your primary language. So you can just click in the drop-down menu and then hit Translate. And while I took German in high school, I cannot read it like this, but I think it's kind of cool to see it in a different language. And if German were my primary language, I would love to read this 9-page paper first in my primary, my preferred language. But I'm going to go back to Tools, Translate Document, and go back to English. Now, the paper itself, of course, needs to be written in English, so you eventually will need to make sure you go back and read it in English so that you can write about it in English, since that's what we would require at Delaware Tech. So another way that can help you with comprehending is to use the definitions right then and there when you are in Google. So, for example, maybe here in paragraph 2, you might not be familiar with that word, peccadillos. I wasn't before I read this. I had heard it, but I didn't really know what it was. So if you right-click on the word, You can come down here where it says define peccadillos, and you see it means a small, relatively unimportant offense or sin. So then this sentence in paragraph 2 makes more sense. But bad habits are often behind more than just our personal, small, unimportant sins or offenses. Okay? So when you annotate, you can put the definitions right there in the margin or right above the word in question, and that will help you with comprehension. The next item I wanted to point out is, as much as I like Google, I think that Microsoft Word has even better accessibility and features in their view on the ribbon on the toolbox here. If you click on View, you can do quite a few things to make the formatting more appealing and easier for you to read. You can, for example, change the width of the columns. You can change the page number, play around with line focus and text spacing. You can even have it read out loud to you. So what you would do here is go to File, Download, Microsoft Word, and then open it up in Microsoft Word, save it to your own files. You can tell I've already played around with it here to make it a little easier for me to see it. So again, I'm going to View, Immersive Reader, and then, like I said, you can change the column width, you can change the page color, you can do line focus. So as you're reading it, you can go line by line. You can change the text spacing, see it in syllable form. This would help with reading out loud. This definitely would slow you down a bit, which is the key, by the way, to reading more thoroughly, is to slow down. Don't just skim and race through it. Spend time on each and every word and each and every line. And then you can do read aloud. And you would have to, hang on, I have to click out of this, this view to click on. So that is a really fantastic way to slow down your reading and take advantage of what Microsoft Word has to offer. If you have any questions about that, I am happy to answer. Well, give me a moment because Microsoft Word is trying to close out. But hopefully that won't happen to you where it got jammed up there at the last moment. Okay, there we go. So that's another way for you to slow down your reading and make it more personal to you and your preferences. Next, I wanted to talk to you about annotating. Now, this is just a really quick review because we did annotating during Unit 1 and you already got a grade for it. You are not getting graded for this annotation, but either electronically or on paper, I can't think of a better way for you to make comments and ask questions and draw some connections between your life and what Adam Pior is writing about. You can use a combination of symbols and highlighting and underlining and circling, but then probably the best thing you can do is make some comments and write down the definitions and whatnot in the margin. So definitely take some time to annotate, and then you will have to read this article several times, multiple times. Each time you read it, try to focus on something different. Maybe word choice when you are looking at the author's language. Maybe evidence, facts and statistics and expert testimony when you are working on that section. And then finally, the author's credibility. When you are ready, I will want you to complete this Nearpod activity. Again, it's not for a grade, but it is to help you with comprehension. You can just click on that link, join the lesson, and then there are some questions. So I'll just mention a few things about the questions here. A lot of times I embedded short quizzes. This, again, does not affect your grade, but it's a good way to make sure you are understanding concepts like APA. So this will ask you to study this reference and get to be more familiar with what a reference looks like in APA format. There is a question about what the article title, how it is capitalized. Is it in title case, sentence capitalization, or in all caps? So it really gets you to interact more with the material. Oh, it wants me to actually take the quiz. So hang on, let me just click on that. Then it will take you through the 53 paragraphs in chunks. So at each stage of this Nearpod, you're going to have a couple of questions. And that way you're taking bits of it at a time rather than trying to plow through all 53 paragraphs at once. Go more slowly. Reread paragraphs 1 through 7 about habit formation, and then see if you can answer these fill in the blank questions. Then you'll reread paragraphs 8 through 15, which those paragraphs are all about fake news and misinformation and sharing on social media. And then you'll have a quick 5-question quiz. Then you are going to reread paragraphs 16 through 17 and just answer on your own what are some other examples of automatic actions or habits. The action that's mentioned in the text is about driving home, but without even thinking about it. But what else can you think of that would fit William James's points from 1890? Then we have some questions that really dig into the brain and behavior concepts. So you're going to be doing some matching between these words. So you're going to be learning a little bit about brain and behavior and about habit formation and cues and so on. Then it's all about forming good habits and making changes. So you'll fill in the blank after rereading paragraphs 31 through 38. Then we're getting towards the end. Try to put in your own words how social media companies could change cues if they wanted to minimize people automatically sharing information, whether it's true or not. And then finally, we get to the very end, paragraphs 44 through 53. I would love for you to come up with your own original example for how you can form a healthier habit. What are some more positive cues you can add to your own environment? In this way, I think you will be better prepared to write about the critical evaluation of Adam Peyor's article, How to Conquer Your Primitive Brain. Please get in touch with me if you have any questions.